Fall is a season full of pumpkin spiced everything, football, and oversized hoodies. But for some people living in the coastal regions, fall is filled with hurricane season. Hurricane season occurs in the time frame of June 1st to November 30th, mostly occurring in the fall. Although the season may not pertain to you specifically, it could potentially be affecting our loved ones. With that being said, today I will be giving you a timeline pertaining to Hurricane Florence. Let's begin by looking at an overview of the hurricane. Hurricane Florence started out as a Category 4 hurricane, many believing the damages would be very, very destructive. To give you an example of how big it actually is, it's the size of Kentucky and Indiana combined. The Weather Channel stated, "A life-threatening surge is expected with landfall." They also warned residents that the winds and rainfall may begin to develop as early as a few days prior to the hurricane. Many residents were fearful as to if they'd be coming home to their home. Hurricane Florence first made its landfall on Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, just outside of Wilmington. It was downgraded to Category 1 but left 5 dead, according to New York Times. Aaron Durkin from The Guardian wrote, "It was crawling at 3 miles per hour, meaning it could linger for a whole another day in the North and South Carolina regions." Since the storm is moving at just over 3 miles per hour, the damages and flooding of the given areas were determined to be worse than others. Many were encouraged to evacuate, but it's hard to determine how many actually left their homes. And those that actually did evacuate were urged to stay away until Governor Roy Cooper gave them the okay. As the storm started to finish, a meteorologist from National Weather Service, Victoria Olivia, stated, "The latest track shows a 20% chance of the hurricane reforming," and then stating it's not likely to find the extremely favorable conditions that fueled Florence. Finally, the storm decided to come to an end, leaving many without power and some without a home. The damages created in this region were significant. The death tolls were continuing to rise due to the amount of flooding and winds, and farmers were losing billions of dollars on the crops that they did. With this intense hurricane, many different sources covered the massive Hurricane Florence. Looking through the articles, I have found that all the articles seem to connect in one another. The Weather Channel gave us information regarding the massive storm, giving information about the watches and the warnings and how it started as a Category 4. Aaron Durkin from The Guardian gave us information about how it was a Category 1 and started at 7:15 a.m. near the specific location. New York Times also gave us the same information that it was a Category 1 starting around 7:15 near a specific location. Star News seemed to be similar to CBS and Fox News in the way that they all gave the specific damages of a certain area, but they all gave different areas. After reviewing all the articles of Hurricane Florence, it's fairly difficult to determine what's actually true. This is where fact-checking comes in handy. The Weather Channel stated, "Florence remains a dangerous Category 4. The information is actually false because it ended up being a Category 1. Governor Cooper stated, "If the storm hasn't reached you yet, it's coming," also stating Hurricane Florence is going to continue to be violent and grind across our state for days. Cooper had no knowledge of the storm's past, so saying this is deceptive. Also in New York Times, Jay Fernandez, a director of public safety, stated, "We have now halted emergency responses until storm conditions allow for personnel to respond safely." I sense bias here because it seems like Fernandez only took his staff into account and not the people they're supposed to be saving. In Aaron Durden's article in The Guardian, she states many damages that are going to occur, being very specific about where and when. Although her damages are potentially valid, she is showing deception as she has no idea what's actually going to happen. To summarize, Hurricane Florence off the coast of North and South Carolina started as a Category 4 hurricane, eventually downgrading to a Category 1. It was considered to be very, very dangerous, and the coastline was ordered to evacuate immediately once it began to quickly approach. The hurricane itself left loads of damage to homes and left lots of flooding to towns. The hurricane left life-changing destruction, leaving some farmers millions of dollars at waste. Each news story was able to connect with one another, and it seemed like a timeline. There is very minimal bias in the articles, therefore I believe that the remainder of the sources are very reliable. So, while you're enjoying your pumpkin spice flavored everything, football season, and oversized sweaters, take a moment to remember those who are currently suffering from hurricane season. Thank you.